I was suddenly surrounded. Don't mind him. He must be the new person who was considering joining the literature club. Yes. Is he in character for a play or something? Yes, that is exactly what he's doing. He is in character for a play. I see. Is it something you all are doing together as a club? It sure is. You should come by after school and join us, see what it's all about. Maybe I will. Yay! It would be so cool if you became one of us. One of us, Yuri? Yeah. I'll see you guys after school then. Yes, until then. One thing was for sure, I was not going to their club. I went straight home after school and took care to stay well away from the clubroom. As I did my schoolwork, I reflected on why the whole experience had left me feeling unsettled. Why did Monica's voice seem so familiar? Why was the boy so startled? And how did they know already that I was going to join the club? Did I tell them my name, or did they know that already too? The worrying left me exhausted, and soon I lay back on the couch, intending to rest my back. But I soon fell unintentionally deep asleep. I was in the middle of a deep, forgotten dream. I thought I heard a voice. Okay, everyone. And then suddenly I woke up. I listened carefully. There was nothing, but I felt that something was wrong. It was 2:45 a.m. Everything was perfectly peaceful and quiet. A knock at the door. The speed with which I formed a plan of action proves that I must have known subconsciously that trouble was coming. I felt instinctively that I should not answer the door or challenge the knocker. Instead, I hid underneath the couch and waited. The knock was repeated, but still I stayed hidden. I could hear only soft, inaudible feminine voices outside. Then suddenly, the door shattered and the girls burst in. Upstairs! The bedroom! The others nodded, and they shuffled staggeringly up to my bedroom. I waited until I heard them open my bedroom door, and then I crawled quietly through my front door and snuck outside. Outside, in the downpour, I realized the flaw in my plan. Where was I supposed to hide? I had been chased out of my own home, and I didn't have long to decide where to go. Before too long, they would realize I wasn't in the house and come looking for me. I had to decide what to do quickly. Hey, there you are. I saw them coming to your house and followed them. He's in the uniform. Are they chasing you? Yes, please help. No problem. We can hide in my house. Follow me. Stay low. Stay quiet. That was a close one. Thank goodness he had come along when he did. I have no idea what I would have done if he hadn't found me. Now, we have to be really careful. They probably won't think to check here, but we should be careful anyway. Did you hear that? I hadn't heard anything. It was totally silent. They're probably here. You should hide in the basement, down there. I'll lock it behind you so they can't get in. Oh, this is such a trip. Are you sure that's a good idea? There's no time to argue. Get in the basement. Wait. If he was planning to lock it out from the outside, how would that keep them out? That would just keep me in, wouldn't it? And now that I thought of it, how had he known to be out and about looking for them at 2:30 in the morning? And oh God, the uniform. He said they'd never make him put on the uniform. Get in the basement, Yuri. It's the only way to be safe. I moved as though to hide in the basement, but as we drew near, I grabbed him by the lapel and threw him down into the basement myself, locking the door on him. And then I fled back out into the night. Good call. Very good call. I ran until I was lost in the middle of the woods. But I felt safe there, at least. Every time the moon came out, I felt a shudder of horror at the thought of the light it cast, and how it might make me more visible to those hunting, terrifying eyes. Soaked by the rain, I used to pay for homesick to the school the next few days. I haven't been back since. Well, I went back once, to the club room. I don't know why, or maybe I do. I felt compelled. Something about the name of the book they'd read, The Portrait of Markov. It sounded so familiar. I started to see words and phrases in my mind as I walked into the room. I knew, somehow, that they were from the book. I felt sure that I had never read it, quite sure. But suddenly, I felt just as sure I knew the book front to back somehow, and I knew where the book was. Yes, here. There it lay, and I knew I had not, in fact, read the book. but I knew it anyway. I took the book, opened it, and started reading. My handwriting flowed cleanly and crisply across the pages. I knew this book because I had written it. I was wearing the uniform already, just as I had foreseen when I wrote the book. This book, this literature club, they were mine. They were all mine. Somehow I had forgotten, but that was not important now. Now I knew everything. Soon, very soon, I will summon the rest here, and we will begin the work of growing our literature club. Perhaps you too would like to be one of us. End. I like that. That was fun. Okay, I think it's over now. Let me set it back rest. Okay, back to us now. So, what did everyone think? I thought it was good. It was appropriately spooky, had some good unsettling zingers, got out fast.
Horror is not my favorite. And horror that has me in it is really creepy. So the mom made me feel kind of disturbed and worried. Which means that you did a good job, I guess?
Well, I didn't mean to upset you too badly, but it was meant to be at least a little bit scary. So thank you. I think there were a lot of things that it did well. It was very faithful to its source material, while at the same time it diverged in a few places that made sense to the medium you were using. There were a few things that I thought were improvable. I think that horror is a difficult genre to pull off in the context of a visual novel. As ironic as it sounds for me to say that. Both because the medium is a little tough for horror, and because the model's so short, I don't think we got the full impact. We didn't get to really build up to anything. Really good horror, I think, needs a bit of build-up. There needs to be tension. And you know that very well, but you've had to rush the tension. When you combine that with the fact that it's hard to build tension with a bunch of text boxes alone, I think you were a little limited with what you could achieve. Yeah, I was just doing the best I could with what I had. I guess mostly I just wanted to see how well I could tell any story at all, so I chose one that I was familiar with. It wasn't meant to be a brilliant work of art or anything. Sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to criticize it super hard or anything. Given the limitations of the medium, I thought you did a really good job. Is there anything about the coding that you would change? No, not that I can think of. Actually, there was one thing now that I think of it. When you put the dark red layer over everything at the beginning, there's a brief moment where we see the club background with no layer before it activates. Oh, right, that. I noticed that, but couldn't think of a good way to fix it. If I put the red layer before the scene change, the scene change wipes it away. Well, one easy way to fix things like that is to just show a background rather than scene transition it, and then you can use the same with transitions. That's good to know. There's also another way. If you show an image on layer front, then scene changes will not wipe that image. It'll put the image in front of literally everything, but it won't disappear until you force it to disappear. The more you know. Natsuki, did you have any thoughts? Oh, I thought it was pretty good. Way better than the one I was writing, I think. Sorry, I don't have a lot more feedback. That's okay. Well, thank you for that, Yuri. Shall we move on to sharing poems? For this week, we rewrote lyrics to a song of our choice as a poem which encapsulates the same idea. I'll go first. The sky is falling in. Your fingers on the glass, my fingers in the air, the layer that separates them, infinitesimally thin yet breakable. I can feel but not see, you can see but not feel. Where we meet is where you banished me. That's where I'll always be, where it all fell apart, where I broke into pieces and the world ended, until one day it won't. Well, this is a familiar theme. What was the song you rewrote? It was Where I Ended You Begin by Radiohead. Radiohead, a daring choice for the Literature Club, I'd say. They are my favorite band. It does feel a little samey, Monica. Although I do like the implication that the file structure is where you really meet them. I guess that is kind of a real point of interaction.
I know Monica likes to write about this a lot, and I'm pretty sure she picked this song so she can write about it again. But I like it. Monica always writes so sincerely and so passionately when she's writing about the fourth wall. We should assemble all her poetry about it into a book.
Thanks, Theory. Great work, Monica. That was a scary feeling, like the world was ending. Like you're in a crumbling building with the roof falling in, but the building is the whole world.
Yeah, and nowhere to run. Why do my poems always end up being downers? Somebody else go. MC, how about you?
Sure. By what right? Never mind what I did. You'd say I deserve it, though it wasn't free will. You've taken on the mantle. You get to decide. Some you save, some you kill. It doesn't feel real, like a bad dream. Just silence until I feel fire in my veins. I am being erased on your human-shaped grill.
Oh, I know what this song was.
You want to take a guess?
It's Ride the Lightning by Metallica. I love that song.
It's pretty funky. What's it about? Death by electric chair.
Yikes!
I guess that explains the swerve at the end. Well, for what it's worth, I think it's pretty damn good, although it's not obvious what it's about. I'm finding it pretty disturbing. So if that's what you were going for, well done. Snark.
What? I think MC was going for well done.
Hilarious. It definitely gets across the terror and moral outrage. I look listen to the original song. It's an interesting theme. Though again, kind of disturbing. Poetry is a wonderful way to safely explore those darker parts of ourselves. I think this poem is a lovely example of that. You're right, Yuri. Poetry is a good way to get on paper thoughts or feelings that normally you don't want to talk about. And by using metaphors or allegory, you can avoid directly confronting the problem. Like, for instance, how Yuri used the allegory of a raccoon in the original game. Things that you're normally worried about in yourself can be healthfully explored via poetry. And often the resulting poems can be pretty good. That's Monica's writing tip of the day. I capitalized it this time! It's like a coin toss! And also Yuri's, since she brought up the topic. Natsuki, how about you next? You got it! Burning. So many voices, beautiful chaos in my ear. But as I grow older, the voices disappeared. That's the way the world is. When you grow, you have to kill. Nothing comes without a price, and you must pay the bill. Or someone's must, at least. It's this road's particular toll. Consume and burn, you must to move. But keep it under control. Life is a short string. You're a flame that's on the thing. Definitely don't know what song this is. But I dig the idea. You can't really get anywhere without leaving stuff behind. Not just leaving stuff behind, but even destroying stuff. Including your own possibilities. True. Much darker than is usual for you, Natsuki. I like it.
It is kind of darker, isn't it? Usually I'm so used to reading poems about kittens, cookies, and rainbows from Natsuki.
When has she ever written about any of those things?
I like to think that I'm slightly more sophisticated than that. You are, I was just kidding.
Yes, we know you're very sophisticated, Natsuki. That doesn't sound like a backhanded compliment at all.
Can it?
You're just egging her on. No, I mean it. Natsuki's the very height of sophistication. No, you're just being mean.
You come back here, stupid!
Shouldn't you be calling me Baka instead? She never said Baka in the original release right now. Slaps? Oh no. Well, I'll check what you said as soon as the text box is back.
Well, while they're sorting out their differences, I'll say they liked the poem a lot. It deals with some very complex themes about life using another elegant metaphor. And it does so while remaining. Ow! That's what you get! Oh, I'm so sorry, Natsuki-san. Can you ever forgive me? Hey, no fair! No tickling! Stop it right now! Or I'll punch you in the fucking face! No violence in the literature club! Knock it off!
Sorry, Monica. Before we move on, what was the song, Natsuki? It was Arsonist's Library by Hosier. Thank you. Now, Yuri, why don't you go next? With pleasure. Remain. Ages in the past, so far that remembering is like seeing through a sheet of dense mist. I remember you. You'd speak to me. You'd tell me to remain forever. But who is to say the meaning? Were you there, and was I? Amidst the sounds of soft rustling of paper, do you remember me as I was then? Did you want me to remain? I drift now, a barrel in the sea. My fate is the caprice of the waves. Caprice? Caprice. But I do still love the sea and its deep secrets. The clouds above are beautiful, and the wind blows enough my hair. Through my hair. Oh my god. Some days I can handle her font, and some days I just can't. But still I can't help thinking, back at the brokenness of fear and anger. Even back then, did you see me as I saw you? Clasping my hands and staring into my eyes. Like it was beyond all doubt. I remember you. I will remain forever. My, is the same love poem coming from Yuri? It is. But only because the song I was altering is a love song. It's not about anyone in particular. Well, I think it's lovely. I think it's a very sweet poem. It has that sense of sticking with someone through thick and thin, even when things seem hopeless. Well, the original song is kind of bittersweet. Like whatever the relationship was, it's definitely over now. And the narrator is just wishing her former love well. What's the song? It's Soft as Chalk by Joanna Newsom. I don't think I've heard any single one of these songs.
Well, I still think it's very sweet overall. It actually makes me feel kind of safe. Like, no matter what, everything's going to be okay, you know?
That's an interesting feeling to get out of it. Natsuki, any thoughts? It's a super turbo level 9 Yuri poem. Ticks all the Yuri style boxes. I will never be able to casually drop the word Capris into one of my poems. Well, then when one is as pretentious as I am, one must uphold one's reputation. It's your turn, Sayori.
Here you go.
Priorities.
The world flows with grief, panic and pain and despair. Let it flow past you, like standing in an icy river. In that river, I have a warm coffee life preserver. I hold on to it tightly, but I can't seem to use it right. That's not my fault, just like everyone else. I submerge my head below the water and hold my life preserver up above. It needs to be saved. It's so important. Can I get out now?
I feel like we all wrote poems that were very on brand for us this week. This one is very Sayori brand. I think that's mostly because we got to pick the song we would copy. We were probably apt to pick songs that let us go with our natural inclinations.
I'm not as sure. This one was actually really hard to turn into a poem.
So why did you pick it?
I just happened to be listening to it when I sat down to write the poem.
It's very interesting. It takes a bit of a general problem that everyone has and makes it personal. Sayori, your expression, it didn't change. And then it makes it even more personal by what happens to the life preserver.
Yeah, that was the bit I changed the most from the original song.
Which was?
Map of the Problem, by Muse.
Problematic, I guess. I don't know. It's pronounced problematic. There you go. Oh, problématique, I guess. Monica speaks with a perfect French accent. Look out, Yuri. Monica's coming for your pretentiousness throne.
What did you think, MC?
I loved it. I thought it was good in both content and form. It was a pleasure to read.
Thanks.
Natsuki whispers to Monica. It's painful to watch. Monica nods. Alright everyone, good poems this week. Let's get set up to answer some emails, and then we'll all call it a day.